Bonjour. Good afternoon. Welcome to the 12th annual meeting of the Oligonucleotide Therapeutic Society, or the OTS. My name is Monia. I'm president of the OTS, and I'm pleased to welcome you to our scientific congress. We have a lot in store for you at this congress. The scientific agenda is outstanding in my view. And we'll have a lot of other activities that we will be exposing to you for your information, for your attention. What I'd like to do in the next few minutes is just take you through some of the events that that will unfold this week for our Congress, and also touch on some of the other meeting highlights as well. But before I do that, I'd like to first pander to the Canadian crowd. Congratulations. Always work with the home crowd. Congratulations to Canada for advancing to the World Cup Championship. And one of our co-organizers, Masad Dama, has offered to have everybody over his house Tuesday for the first game of the championship, which is just a few blocks away. So there'll be sign-ups outside for that, so good luck. So again, welcome to the 12th annual meeting. I'm thrilled to be here. And what I'd like to do now is just give a little bit of background on the society. I showed this slide last year in Leiden, and I'm showing it again, but with a slightly different twist on it. For those who don't know, those who do know, a reminder, this society began in 2003 with a very small group of scientists from industry and academia who met in Tuscany, drank some vino, but also thought about how can we usher in a new era of therapeutics based on oligonucleotides. All aspects of oligonucleotides: basic research, applied research, RNA, aptamers, immunomodulatory oligonucleotides, and so on. And what came out of that was the creation of a new society that was doing just that. Starting again in 2003, with a mission for the society to promote and foster in what was envisioned to be a new way to discover drugs. And I want to remind those of you, many of you in this room were at that meeting. I was at that meeting. And for those who have been in the field for a long time, you know this. For those who are new, I'll make you aware that those were different times in oligonucleotide research, RNA therapeutics, aptamers, and immunomodulatory, if you will. There was one drug approved, fomavirsen, for CMV retinitis, and I since hit some hard times. It was really difficult to find ways to apply antisense oligonucleotides to get them into cells and produce safe and therapeutic effects. siRNA was just a twinkle in people's eyes. It was working in plants. People were starting to think about making it work in animals and in mammalian cells, and so forth and so on. Today, we have 3 drugs approved that are targeting RNA, antisense drugs approved. A 4th one is to be reviewed imminently for spinal muscular atrophy, and we believe that drug will be approved, the 4th one, as well. And we have 5 drugs in phase 3 clinical trials. 3 of those trials are fully enrolled with phase 3 data and unveiling next year, to be presented at OTS, I'm sure, next year. So I really think that the crazy people that were in that castle in 2004 that thought about and had that vision, this is really coming to be. We're really entering a golden year of oligonucleotide therapeutics, and I really believe that the future is extremely bright. And all of us should be proud of that that's in this room, whether this is your first OTS meeting or you've been doing this for many decades. I think this is something proud. I really believe that we answer to a higher calling, and that calling is coming to fruition. These are just some of the meetings we've had over the years. The first 2 meetings were organizational, the first one in Tuscany, the second one in New York City. And then our first international meeting, official congress, was in New York, that was hosted by Tom Tuschl. And then you can see the rest. We typically have our conferences in the US, Canada, or Europe. But we did have one meeting that was hosted by Mike Gate, or chaired by Mike Gate in Fukuoka, Japan in 2009. So, brief introduction to OTS. Now, I just want to spend a few moments thanking people who made this all happen this year. Starting with our board of directors, shown here, with their pictures. An outstanding board of directors that never hesitate to volunteer their time to make the society better and to help oligonucleotide therapeutics. If you're interested in getting involved in the society or have questions about this, the field or what have you, I really encourage you to find some of these folks and talk to them. They're very easy to approach. And also our scientific advisory committee, shown here, them as well. We thank them. We really appreciate the work that they've done to help make the society and our meeting a success. And please reach out to them too if you have any questions or would like to learn more about how to get involved with the OTS. Next, I have to thank, of course, our sponsors. We could not do what we do without the generous support of our sponsors, starting here with our platinum and silver sponsors. You know, we really do, without our sponsors, we couldn't do what we do, as I said, but it goes it goes beyond the conference. It allows us to support young scientists, reward them with travel grants, to let them present at the conferences and so forth. And it also allows us to work with other societies and bring the attention to oligonucleotide therapeutics more broadly than just our conference. We thank you, our sponsors, our platinum and silver sponsors, and of course our bronze sponsors as well. Again, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much. And a whole host of exhibitors, friends, supporters, and donors. People that just write checks out of their checkbook and send it in for the conference to support travel grants and those sorts of things. So again, thank you. We have over 60 sponsors today, which is just incredibly impressive, and it's something we're very, very proud of. And then, of course, for this year's conference, I have to thank the OTS 2016 Organizing Committee, chaired by Masad Dama and co-chaired by Masad Dama and Arthur Craig. This is Masad's home base in Montreal, so if you want to know anything about Montreal, please go see Masad. Art Craig is the president-elect, so if you want to know anything about being a president, go see him too, or as well as myself. Outstanding job by the organizing committee, and I think you'll see that as the conference unfolds. And also, finally, a thank you to our they're running out the door. To Jerry Beatty and Alexis Seca for an outstanding job in helping us organize this conference. Without them, this whole thing couldn't happen. So any logistical things that you need to know about for the conference, please go see them or their staff. They've done truly an outstanding job, and we have a new contract with them, which is now extended for years to come. So we're happy about that. Okay, let's talk about the conference a little bit. And the society with respect to new initiatives. First of all, I want to remind you of our official journal, the official journal of the OTS, Nucleic Acid Therapeutics. We have a new agreement with Nucleic Acid Therapeutics that is going to keep us together for years to come. And we're very proud to be with Marianne Lieber and Nucleic Acid Therapeutics. Our co-editors, Bruce Sullinger and Anamika Artsma-Roos, shown on the top left, but very importantly, our executive editor, Graham Parker. Graham is he's at the conference today. He does a fantastic job in shepherding in submissions to the journal to get them reviewed and published in a timely manner. Please go see Graham if you have any questions about the journal or if you're thinking about submitting, and we encourage you to submit. There's many advantages to submitting to Nucleic Acid Therapeutics. The main one one of the main ones I just mentioned, which is the rapid turnaround of review and publication. And it is really the only journal dedicated to Nucleic Acid Therapeutics. So consider that when you're submitting your next publication. We continue to work with other societies, expand our reach, collaborating with other societies. This is our second year working with the RNA Society. Last year's meeting was our first meeting in which I chaired a session in Madison, Wisconsin, representing the OTS, and they reciprocated with a session that they chaired last year in Leiden. This year, the same thing. We're going to have a session chaired by Melissa Moore from the RNA Society tomorrow, and Anastasia Karova will be chairing a session on behalf of the OTS in Kyoto, Japan, in November. It's our first collaboration with the IS3NA, the Nucleotides, Nucleic Acids International Society, and Masad Dama will be chairing a session with them on their behalf tomorrow on medicinal chemistry. We're pleased to have that relationship. And our second year with the Japan Nucleic Acid Therapeutic Society, or the OTS of Japan. I chaired a session last year in Kyoto, and we're going to be working with them again, chairing a session in Tokyo this year in November, and that will be chaired on behalf of OTS by Anna Mika. So some new initiatives, and a lot of these initiatives are based on our delegates, our members, what they're saying that they'd like to see the society do more of. First is a website upgrade. I'm pleased to tell you that we launched this in June or July of this year. Please take a look, and it's going to get better and better over time. We've instituted news flashes on scientific topics of interest, light reading, but scientific reading nonetheless. That goes to all of our members and meeting delegates. So if you signed up for this meeting, which you did, you're here, you're going to get these news flashes for a period of time. Something new we're going to be doing is, and this was really championed by one of our board members, Jonathan Watts, is instituting a junior trainees board of director representatives. In other words, we're going to have representation on our board of directors by graduate students and postdocs to give us their perspective on what the society could be doing for new and young scientists in the oligonucleotide research field. Details of that will be coming soon. We haven't worked them all out yet, but please stay tuned, look at our website, and come see me or Jonathan if you have questions. We have a new Paper of the Year award, which I'll be talking about in a moment, but this is something new that we'll hear about on Wednesday during our awards session. I mentioned the new partnership with Nucleic Acid Therapeutics, and then very importantly, if you're interested in serving on the board of directors or the Scientific Advisory Council, these are 2-year cycles, and our 2 years is up for the current cycle. So if you're interested in applying for membership to the board, all you have to do is be a member of the society, and you can submit your name. Members have to apply by November 7th. The voting happens through early December, and then the new board gets announced in mid-December. So I encourage you to do this. This is an open society, and we really do like to see new people come into the society and help lead it. And then finally, we have a lot of other activities, networking opportunities outside the scientific sessions, which I'll touch on a little bit in a moment. So some of the meeting highlights. Attendance continues to grow at our meeting. We're now approaching 450 delegates for this particular conference. I mentioned the sponsorships has been outstanding, and we thank you again for everything you do for us. That has enabled us to provide student travel awards, poster awards that continue to increase every year, and then lots of short talks selected from abstracts. And again, that's something that we heard from our members they wanted more of. Abstract submissions, short talks submitted from those. So thank you very much. This morning, we had a pre-conference workshop. This is the second time we did this. We experimented with this last year in Leiden, which we had a workshop on RNAi, antisense, and other aspects of RNA therapeutics. This year we did it again. It was this morning, and it was focused on manufacturing, aptamers, delivery, and preclinical development aspects. All returns that I've heard it went extremely well and was very well attended. And I have to really reach out and thank our sponsor who sponsored it last year and sponsored that workshop this year, the Korean Institute of Toxicology, KIT. They have a table here. Please go see them. They're an outstanding group, and we've been working with them at my company for many years, and they really do a great job. Scientific sessions. After our keynote presentation today, we are going to start the scientific sessions with a session on immunomodulatory aspects of DNA and RNA tomorrow. And tomorrow, then, we will jump into medicinal chemistry, delivery, and emerging topics in RNA biology with the RNA Society, as I mentioned earlier. And then on Tuesday, we have 2 sessions of preclinical topics, which is basically early stage aspects of new therapeutics that are emerging, and advances in aptamer research. And then on our final day, we will start with the morning with a very exciting awards ceremony, awards session that'll be chaired by Masad Dama. And then RNA editing and gene editing. And then finally, as we always have done for all of our conferences since we've had them, we close with clinical studies, clinical trials. No matter what we're doing, no matter what you're doing in the area of basic research or delivery or manufacturing or therapeutics, it all comes down to what we're doing to bring drugs to patients. And that's why we've always closed our meetings with the final session being clinical trials, clinical studies. So we'll be doing that, and that'll be chaired by David Blakey. We have a welcome reception after our scientific session on immunomodulatory oligonucleotides. Please come this afternoon. We have two poster sessions. Well, posters will be displayed throughout the whole conference, but we'd like our poster attendees to host their posters, whether or not, based on their number, whether they're odd or even. The odd folks will host on Mondays, and the even folks will host on Tuesdays. And Monday's timing is particularly great because it stops at 7:30, and that gets you time to have dinner and make some popcorn and get comfortable, and then watch the comedy hour in the United States, sometimes referred to as the presidential debate. One of our other meeting highlights is, of course, we're so pleased to have Dr. Joan Stites, who will be delivering us our keynote address in a few moments. I met Joan last year at the RNA Society in Madison, where I approached her, and she agreed to come, and we're thrilled to have her. And as I mentioned, lots of other talks coming up. And then, in closing, I also wanted to mention that we've created a lot of opportunities for you to meet people and companies and groups. On Sunday, this afternoon, during the reception, the introductory reception, the second half of that, we're trying something new based on requests by our delegates to meet companies. So these companies are volunteering their time. They have representatives that'll be at the room shown here in the Level 3 salon, in which you can go speak with representatives of these companies to talk to them what it's like in industry, talk to them what their experiences have been like, what's the difference they think between industry and academia, and maybe even drop them a CV and kind of suggest that you're interested in a job. Second is meet the experts. This is something we've always done for the last few years at least. Tomorrow, on Monday, September 26th, in which we have a session on Meet the Experts, where there'll be representatives from the Board of Directors, Scientific Advisory Council, and other members that have been in the field for many years. You can come and meet those individuals, talk about any questions that are on your mind. There is a sign-up for this, and I would suggest going out to, what you should do is go out to the front registration area and sign up for this, because space is limited if you want to do this. And then we're trying something this year, again, based on certain members' requests that we've heard, is Meet the Professor session. This year's professor is the recipient of our Lifetime Achievement Award, Dr. Stan Crook. It's very early, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., in which Stan will be having an informal chat, a discussion after a very brief presentation in which he will talk about his views on the creation of the RNA therapeutics field and the creation of ICIS Pharmaceuticals or Ionis Pharmaceuticals and what the experience has been. And he also really would like to take questions, anything that's on your mind. And we are going to have some cards out in the back if you would rather write some questions in, and then our moderator, which I think is me, will ask those questions to Stan. It'll be a very informal session. And that'll be in the Level 3 salon. We'll have refreshments starting at 6:30 a.m. I encourage you to come. This is not his plenary talk following his Lifetime Achievement Award. That'll be a much more formal presentation than the Meet the Professors session. So our awards ceremony is on Wednesday morning. Stan will be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award. And then we have our Alan Gewirtz Memorial Scholarship, our Marianne Liebert Young Investigator Award, and our new Paper of the Year Award with the winners of those awards shown here. So we're excited about that, looking forward to that. And then we finish our meetings, of course, every year with a nice party, a post-meeting event in which we have a party, lots of food, lots of drinks, maybe some dancing. And at the Industria Italian Brasserie, we really would like to see you sign up for that. We'd love to have you. It's a lot of fun. Please come and join us for that. And then finally, my last slide, mark the dates on your calendars. All the French you're going to learn this week is going to be very useful next year in Bordeaux. Our 13th annual meeting of the OTS will be co-chaired by Art Craig and J.J. Tolmay in Bordeaux on September, whatever it says up there, 24th through 27th. And mark your calendars for that. It'll be another great event, I'm sure. But for now, we have the 12th annual meeting of the OTS, which is going to start now. So with no further delay, no further ado, I'm going to pass the stage over to Art Craig, who will introduce our keynote speaker.